And all right, so we're going to start this episode apparently with chair dancing and shenanigans.
That's my plan. There should always be There should always be um, both chair dancing and shenanigans.
Okay, one of those things I'm quite capable of. Greetings and welcome to Calm, Clear Conversations. I'm Christopher Johnson, host of or founder of Calm, Clear Communications, and with me today is all the way from
Honolulu,
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
I
Oh my
know, Elizabeth
God.
Steele.
It is me. Yeah, it is I.
So, all right, Elizabeth, how do we know each other? Because you're a fun person, and I think you know like everybody.
It may just feel that way. I'm relatively new on the scene. Chris, I will tell you that we met at Robbie Samuel's No More Bad Zoom happy hour. And if you don't know Robbie, I feel like everyone should just go and find him right now because Robbie Samuels is amazing.
After,
After, after we are done with our calm and clear conversation, go and find Robbie. And that's how we met. And I can even give you a little backstory. I feel like this is like the genealogy of LinkedIn. Robbie Samuels and I met because I help lawyers kind of own their Zoom rooms. And I had given a presentation for the New York State Bar Association in the wake of the I am not a cat lawyer catastrophe. And Robbie came to that and we connected afterwards. And it's just been the rest is history.
the rest is history. So, all right, wait. Law school? So you are, your title is, in addition to just being a totally awesome person, your official title is,
My day job title, I am the Director of Admissions at the University of Hawaii Law School, the William S. Richardson School of Law, and by night and on the weekends. And beginning next month full time, I am a virtual presence coach and I work with lawyers and law students and law professors and educators to help them kind of engage distracted audiences. And aren't we all distracted these days? So that's what I do.
so from, all right, I gotta, when you say lawyers, that sounds really staid and prim and proper and not engaged and not fun. You can fix
Yes.
that?
Well, I will say, I think, in my line of work, the lawyers I work with are also wonderful educators, but maybe relatively new, maybe 16 or 17 months new at doing this online. And so that's where I come in. And I try to make it fun and engaging for them so that they can kind of turn around and maybe borrow a little bit of my pizzazz and add it to what they already have going on. And it's a ton of fun.
You loan out pizzazz.
I do. I do. I give it away. I give it away because I mean,
Wow. So you just giving it away.
I just, and if you know anyone who needs any pizzazz, come. I have extra, and apparently it's not something that I no. You don't need any pizzazz. You have the voice. You really. What is it? Not true. What you hear, like Christopher Johnson. It's like I just want to stop talking so I can say something. Say something.
I'm perplexed. I don't know what to say.
I put him on the spot, but I love this. Can we do this together? Can we do this in synchrony? That's one of the things I teach lawyers. That actually moving in synchrony is something that we miss from real life interaction. So like I yawn, you yawn. I grab a glass of water, you grab a glass of water, right? And so one of the ways to claw back is to move together.
So wait, that's a free bonus engagement tip. Move together.
Yes.
Huh. All right, wait, let's try this one more time.
Okay. How fun is
Hmm.
that? And then actually, which side are you on? Can we do this? Oops. Can you touch
Oh,
this way? Oh, here we oh, we did that. We did a high five. Except for I'm like a little twisted. I'm totally thrown off by the non-mirrored situation. But yeah, actually moving together, waving to each other, like all of those kind of regular things that we would do in real life work in virtual environments too.
that is a good thing. So these are the kinds of tips that you help people, lawyers and or are you exclusively just like the lawyer profession?
It's so funny when I first, this is my very first entrepreneurial adventure, and they were like, "Oh, you should niche down." All of the YouTube said niche down, which I guess meant specialize and kind of where you are. And so I will say that the first folks who've asked me to present were lawyers and bar associations and law firms and general counsel for huge firms. And so that's where I kind of started. And at the same time I was doing that, other people reached out to me who were non-lawyers. So one of my favorite clients is a really huge public school system. And so I work with their teachers. And so it really, a lot of the things that I teach are not necessarily lawyer specific, but the bulk of my clients happen to be lawyers, and I think it just spreads from word of mouth. Someone's like, "Oh, I just saw this woman; she's doing this great thing," and and so it just it's been rolling, 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 which I think is a good thing. Knock
It
on wood.
is. It is. So, congratulations on your entrepreneurial endeavor.
Thank you. Well,
It,
how did you start Clear Calm Communications? What's that birth story?
well, I met a client who said, hey, they were hosting a event in March and April of 2021,
Hmm.
and they were looking for someone to help them host this virtually. And I said, I can do that. So then I tried to figure out how to do that. So my background, although I've worked in IT for a lot of years, my undergraduate degree is actually broadcast communications. So
No, because
Zoom,
like when I hear you, I'm just like, mm,
Zoom I look at as a broadcast platform, a little bit like StreamYard. StreamYard is live. There's no net. We just keep going forward. And that's fine.
I think, is it terrible that I kind of like the fact that we don't have a net?
That's a long way down. Oh, yeah, it is. See, here's one of the things about broadcasting and being live.
Hmm.
There's only forward motion. The second you stop to pause and reflect and ponder a mistake that's been made, you've taken the audience out of whatever you were trying to convey.
Hmm.
Watching a
That's
news
lovely.
broadcast, yeah,
Hmm.
watching a news broadcast, they just keep going. If they
Hmm.
mess up somebody's name, they keep going. They
That's
say the
right.
wrong thing, they keep going. Now, how does that fit in with what you tell lawyers to do or legal types to do on Zoom?
Oh my gosh, Christopher Johnson, you're reading my mail because that's exactly what I tell folks. You got to go on with the show. And I think when sometimes when we pause or we actually end up drawing attention, right,
Mhm.
to with a misstep or the miscalculation, and who's got time for that, right? There, people are just like, get back on topic. We want to hear what you're doing, what you're thinking about. And so I think that's great. That's great advice. And part of it is it's what we would do if we were in real life together, which is what I always kind of think in my mind. Like if we were, I may except I think when I mispronounce someone's name, I do try to correct it as kind of a sign of respect. But if something goes terribly wrong, then we laugh it off like you would have to, like I tell my toddler to do, right? Get yourself right back up. Like, are you okay? All right, then keep going. If you're not hurt, then get right back
Ex-
at it.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't dwell on the mistake. Just keep
Hmm.
going.
Hmm. Hmm. I love it. I think that's great advice. What other things do you draw from? Because I know that you had some TEDx experience. Maybe I can ask you about that.
Absolutely. We should make it a point of I'll go out to wait, you know what? I need training on site. So I'll have to go out to Honolulu. I like
That
that
sounds,
idea.
we can make that happen. We can make that
Okay.
happen.
So for TEDx Detroit, I'm the event announcer backstage. So I am never the person out there up front delivering my message for the world from Detroit. But I talk to everybody that does.
Hmm.
So before they go out onto the stage, I make sure they're calm and comfortable and can do what they need to do. A lot of times, for whatever reason, people get nervous public speaking. It's shocking. So I talk with them. All right, you have a lot of people in the audience today, and they're all going to be mad at me if I mess up your name. So let's go over that. Your name is, and they tell me. And your title, how you want to be introduced is. Okay, great. I got it because I don't want your people coming after me when this is all over. That disarms them, puts them out, puts them at ease, and they go out on the stage and have a great time.
Oh my goodness, can do you contract out? Like, is that something I can arrange for? Every time I go in front of a really big group, I would like to connect with you beforehand. Like, and maybe if it
Absolutely.
can't do it on site, maybe I could just have you on speed dial and just be like, okay, Christopher Johnson, right? Like this week I'm talking to um, lawyers in Texas, and I want to just kind of touch base with you a little bit, like touching like people carry those smooth stones with them. You could be my smooth stone. I'll call you and be like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I would like that. I think that Christopher might be frozen, and that happens too. And I love the fact that we can kind of keep rolling, and I will be happy to do so until Chris can come back. I put together some tips today that I wanted to share with you, just six about hosting virtual meetings, in part because I have had to sit through many a not engaging virtual event, and I think you might be in the same spot. So if you with I'm going to just share some slides with you that I put together with Christopher in anticipation of seeing you this morning. So here we go. I'm going to share my slides. Oh my goodness, here they are. Now, I made these with you in mind. And so these are just kind of six quick takeaways that I hope will be helpful. And I'm going to use my little clicker, and actually what Christopher and I did to kind of establish a sense of, I don't know, the mood this morning, right? Being able to reconnect. I really enjoy doing things with him. It's the same thing that I would encourage you to do when you're hosting an engaging virtual event. So here we go. I will get us started with a little bit of a roadmap, which I think is also really important when you're doing virtual events. We want to set expectations, set the mood, right? Engage your audience, or else it could be a video. Send a video message if you're not interested in actually connecting with folks. And then change it up much more frequently than you might do in real life. Invite feedback and end on a high note. So here we go first. And I'm not sure the sound's going to work, but we'll just see if it does. I love this. This is something that Serena Williams posted. This is a doll character that she's created. I love this. Let's take a listen. So one of the things that I have made a practice of doing is distributing in advance an agenda. Because if you don't have, if folks, this is also what I call the meeting killer, right? It makes us be really disciplined about, do we need a meeting? Could it be a conference call? Could this be a video message if I'm just conveying information? Right, so love it. This is my meeting killer tip. Distribute an agenda in advance. And also establish whatever the rules of engagement are going to be for your virtual event. So, if you are expecting folks to stay muted or to keep their cameras on, this is information that you want to give them right ahead of time so they can gear up and get excited about what it is that you'll be doing together. Right? Set the mood. Greet attendees by name as they arrive, just as you would do in virtual at a real meeting or conference room. And I would do this, up to maybe 20, 30 guests, because we all like to hear our names and we like someone to kind of acknowledge our humanness. I will say that this is a screenshot of Nick Cho, who has this wonderful TikTok account, Your Korean Dad. So check it out. And I would just say he's lovely at always greeting folks. And I'm on Team Wave in terms of starting and ending events. I said this earlier, but I'll draw attention to it, right? You send a video message if you're not actually going to engage your audience, right? The reason we come together at events is because we want to be together and enjoy it. And this is just a little tip I'll drop with you, that sometimes people are more likely to engage if there's a little bit of anonymity. And so here's a tip that I picked up: asking people to contribute to the chat, but first renaming themselves in Zoom so that they are all a full stop or a period, right? And then throwing out questions to get people involved and excited, right? I'd like to impose the Medicare 8-minute rule. in my virtual events and meetings, which means I want you to change it up every 8 minutes. So, and there are lots of ways to change it up. Right? Do it like in the way that Christopher Johnson and I were doing it, right? Each time you change the speaker, right, that's a reset. Play a game, ask a question, right? Invite people to move together, to listen to music, to watch a short video. All of these things reset our attention and bring us back to the event. And I think, yeah, change it up every 8 minutes. Invite feedback. So part of this experience is wanting to really check in and make sure that the event or the meeting was successful. And the only way that we know if it's successful, right, is if somebody actually expresses that to us. And so I invite anonymous feedback, and I think it's a really great practice, even when the feedback that you get might sting. Right? Oh, I'm so glad to see you, Christopher. Lovely.
Phew.
Oh my gosh, I was missing you. I think we all were. And I'm so glad that you could join us, because I'm going to talk about, I've got 2 more slides that I want to ask you if you do this too as a rule. When you are hosting and engaging events, do you invite feedback?
I do. Feedback is important because that's how we improve.
Hmm. Does it ever hurt sometimes?
Yes, and I only trust feedback from trusted sources. If this is not somebody I would take uh, advice from, if they're not someone I would go to for advice, then they're usually not someone I would ask for honest feedback.
Wow.
Feedback requires trust and collaboration and working
Mhm.
together. And if only one person is trying to get better and the other person is trying to sabotage, then that's not a good system at all.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to totally sit with that, Christopher Johnson, because I've been really thinking about that. I am a big believer in asking for feedback, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, and it maybe throws me off my game if it's not if it's not constructive, if it's not thoughtful, if it's not from trusted source. So maybe I have to be more judicious about who I'm asking for feedback from.
Well, that and sometimes there's no point to the feedback.
Mm,
You know, if there's something that can be done about the situation, then fine. But if it's a situation where nothing can be changed, then the feedback is not useful or valuable.
mm. Oh my gosh, I love this. Thank
If
you. I'm going to
somebody
start
wants to,
talking to you before and after all my events. To check
wonderful.
in with you too, to be like, 'cause that's lovely.
I mean, if someone wants to complain about, well, my hair was done wrong, it's like, okay, yeah, not much I can do.
Not much I can do, but you might make different choices about how you're going to do your hair for the next time out, and that could be right. But it's not in my sphere of influence, or not in my control. This is my last slide, and I'll just share it with you because I want to make sure that we do it today, and that is, ending on a high note. So, and this is one of the tips I learned from John Chen, who's the author of Engaging Virtual Meetings and who's become a colleague and friend like Christopher Johnson. I love kind of connecting with people and feeling like we kind of share things in common. Ending on a high note, waving, cheering, playing a game, making commitments to each other. This is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful way to end a virtual meeting. And so I do this by actually inviting people to unmute and give audible warm greetings. 6 tips for creating engagement. I wanted to thank Christopher Johnson for having me. And I hope I was able to kind of give you some tips and tricks that you might kind of up your next virtual meeting, setting expectations, setting the mood, engaging, changing it up, right? Every 8 minutes, inviting feedback, or else might as well be a video message, and ending on a high note. And the high note for me today would be connecting with you. And so if you have a mobile phone or smartphone, you can actually use this QR code to find me on LinkedIn. And I'm going to stop my share and hope that Christopher will be able to join us, to rejoin us. And I think one thing that I've certainly learned from working with Christopher that I really enjoy is that his professionalism and experience. He's clearly someone who does this for a living. And I think for many of us who are focused on our content, whether it might be teaching a class or giving a presentation, having kind of a partner and someone like Christopher Johnson is huge. Right? I Zoom for a living, and I still find that whenever I engage with Christopher Johnson, I come away feeling calm and listened to and heard. And so I'm so glad that Christopher's back. I hope your ears may have been burning, because I was talking about how important it is to kind of Zoom with, it's like a swimming buddy, Zoom with a friend, right? And hiring someone like Christopher is such a great way to make sure that you can kind of focus on doing what it is that your message and your delivery without having to like worry about the headaches of tech. And I think that that's something I really, really respect about what Christopher Johnson offers.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm going to have a talk with my local cable provider because I'm on a wired connection.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, things
I'm
happen, but we move forward relentlessly.
I love it. I love it. And let me just say, Christopher Johnson, it was easier for me to say all the nice things I wanted to say when you weren't here. But I want to repeat them for your benefit, right? But I do think that there's just something about learning together, experimenting, failing forward, which is a new term I just learned, right? It really, all of these moments are what allow us to kind of get better at what we do, right? And especially
Absolutely.
with someone that we enjoy working with and want to work. I would do Christopher Johnson. Let me just say it right now. Like anytime you want to get together and collaborate on a project, I would love to do that. I think your energy and your wisdom and your expertise is so valuable. And I just want to say thank you in front of everybody for sharing it with me.
I wholeheartedly echo and agree. I'm happy to work with you anytime, anywhere, on anything.
Oh, that just happened, everybody. That just happened. And I'm not the only person who feels this way about Christopher Johnson. That's true. I mean, he's got fans. He's got fans, and he deserves them. What's next for you?
Thank
What's coming? I want to know. I want to know a little bit more. Can I know a little bit more about you and what's next? Big
you.
project you're
Absolutely.
excited about?
Well, the next big project that I'm excited about, exploring more of StreamYard and
Mhm.
helping clients get comfortable on virtual events as well as live streaming events. So, as we've illustrated here, with StreamYard, although my internet went out, you were able to keep the audience engaged because you engage audiences.
I think I was also comfortable knowing that you were out there somewhere clawing your way back.
I yeah,
We're
my
together.
fingernails are gone now. It's yeah. Whew.
I'm just going to say light blue is a good color. I think it would also, I feel like I could reach into your box right here and be like, like try my light blue nail polish on for size. I did just suggest to Christopher Johnson that he play around with the nail color. I'm just saying.
You know what? I'm not opposed.
I love it. I love it. How
There
can
is a
people find
gentleman.
us? Oh,
Well, you know what? That's a really good question. How can people find us? Well, fortunately, here is a, you know what? You are a rock star on all the platforms, and here is a list of ways to contact, be in touch with, be part of the Elizabeth Steele fan club. If you're not following her on TikTok, you're missing out. If you're not following her on Instagram, you're missing out. If you're not connected with her on LinkedIn, yeah, there's a theme here. You're missing out. She delivers wisdom and wit and humor, and all of that makes everything engaging, right?
Christopher, you're so kind. I will say that it's been a really exciting time in my personal journey, my life, as move from a career that I found a lot of joy and happiness in for 12 years into kind of uncharted territory. And it's been made so much more fun by meeting people who kind of share common interests and ideas about, collaboration and support. I mean, oh my goodness, I had no idea what I'd been missing out with on LinkedIn. I had no idea. I had like a 10 years of a dormant profile.
Well,
And
but now you don't.
no, and I learned a ton from you. I mean, I think that's the part of it. I'm going to lean back as we finish. I feel like I should reach for a cigarette or something, but not a cigarette, not a real cigarette, because those kill people. But you know, I feel like there is something about that, right? About kind of like a live learning community as we all kind of branch out and do different things.
Exactly. As we go through life, we have to follow our curiosity. We have to be collaborative and continue to grow. I mean, because lifelong learning is just that. It is lifelong. So, a question for you.
Yes.
What's the last book you read that you would recommend?
Oh, I have it right out of frame. One moment, please. I'll have visual aids as well. So I am reading two things. The first is a book called Rabbit in the Moon, a memoir from a fellow faculty member at the University of Hawaii. And she is someone who was an online teacher that I learned from when I started online teaching. And this is a personal memoir of her life and love. And having met her husband, it's really been a delight to kind of read their story. And then I also, because I can never just read one book, I'm that person. I've been reading, this is actually a book that has stood the test of time. This is 50 Digital Team Building Games from John Chen. And I will say that he published this book, I want to say, gosh, 2012, like so way before any of us were doing this. So if you have not read this, maybe I can send it to you after I'm pal with it. That would be great. Oh, and it looks like folks are at the door and they're ready for me. But I am thrilled. They're like, did you hear that wrapped knocking? That's a 4-year-old who knows what time it is and has just learned to tell time.
Well, that's quite an accomplishment. That's to be praised
It
for the
is. It
moment.
is. It is. It is. So I hope I answered the question. So these are the two books I've been kind of toggling between. What are you reading?
Well, currently I am reading Content DNA. It's by John Esperian. You should follow and connect with him on LinkedIn
Here I am taking
because,
notes.
and I'll put that in the chat as well.
Thank you.
John he's a LinkedIn rock star, and I became aware of John through Brenda Meller. And you
Mm-hmm.
should also be following Brenda Meller.
Totes. Totes.
She's
Can you?
after you.
No, I was just gonna say she's amazing,
She
and she's your
is.
friend.
I know. I
Um,
am a really fortunate individual. I have you as a friend. I have Brenda as a friend. Well, this Monday is just magnificent.
I have just had a wonderful, wonderful time with you. It was too short. I want to do it again.
All
I
right,
feel
let's
like
schedule something.
I would love that. I would love it.
Okay. So
Oh
we'll
my
work on
goodness.
that. And hey, thank you for keeping the audience engaged and informed through internet snafus. But the lesson is, hey, work with someone who is fearless, like yourself, and don't panic when things happen because things will always happen. So you just roll with the punches and keep going.
Oh my goodness. Well, if I've learned anything, I've learned that from you. And I just, yeah, I feel like we're going to get all gooey, but really this person, like amazing, like amazeballs and like the real thing. I know that we haven't met in real life yet, but
Yeah.
maybe when the Delta variant, has had her way with us and things might return to normal, I have to find my way to Detroit, one of my favorite American cities.
Oh, wonderful. Well,
Thank you so
Elizabeth, thank
much.
you so much.
You're welcome. All right. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.